Oh, yeah, it feels so good to be back where we belong. Oh, yeah, it feels so good. This is where we started from. The Detroit Lions. We are live, baby. We are live with Spike Kool-Aid for November 21st, 2022. We got some stuff to talk about today, the biggest news of the day. But before we do that, I'm just amazed, man. I'm amazed, man, to see all these people talking playoffs. Playoffs? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Man, oh man. The Detroit Lions get a win yesterday. Shout out to One Pride 40. What's going on, man? First time on the channel. What's up, Gaddy? Yesterday was the one time in my life I was happy to see the Cowboys win. Yeah, man. Cowboys beat the Vikings down. I know my workmate Trey was not happy. He was not happy. Now, I was hoping Minnesota got that dub, man, because we needed them to fall. But either way, it's a win-win. But listen, we got a lot to talk about, man. The biggest news of the day, and we got to make a segment. We got to make a segment, man, so let's get right into it. We got to talk about Matthew Stafford, too, man. Is he shut down for the season? Somebody failed in the LA Rams organization. I think Matthew Stafford came back a little too early. A little bit too early. But let's get right into it. For the biggest news of the day coming out of Detroit Lions camp, Jameson Williams, the rookie wide receiver out of Alabama who tore his ACL in the natty. It was tough to see, bro. Tough to see. I talked about it yesterday on my live stream. Kayvon Thibodeau, he opted out. He did not play in Oregon's last game. Aiden Hutchinson, he did play in Michigan's last game. Their loss to the Georgia Bulldogs. And Jameson Williams, who was, if he stays in that game, it's possible Bama could have won that game. John Mechie was out. Jameson Williams went out. Bama didn't stand a chance. And because of that, we've had to wait. But we got the news today that Jameson Williams has been cleared to practice. You know how I'm feeling right now? I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling like right now.
Oh, my God.
Jameson Williams is cleared to practice. Now, what does that mean, Keith? That means that we are going to see him this year. I'm 99.9% sure. I told you guys that there was no way Jameson Williams was not going to play this year. Even if we were losing, there's no way. But now that we're winning, there's a greater chance. Because we thought we might have him for the last 4 games of the season. Turns out we could get Jameson Williams for the last 6 games of the season. If J-Mo doesn't get hurt, the Lions might not get him. Patty, if J-Mo doesn't get hurt, the Lions do not get him. He was the 4th receiver taken off the board, if I'm not mistaken. 3rd or 4th, I think he was number 4. He would have gone probably number 1. So how y'all feeling? Y'all know how I'm feeling. I am excited. Mr. Poole in the building. We talking about Jameson Williams and the return. We talking about Jameson Williams and the return. How big is this going to be? Victory Monday. 3 Mondays in a row, and y'all wanted to tank. Get up out of here, man. And now we could get our prized possession. The guy that I had a fit about us drafting up to get. At first. But I did predict the raggedy defense. Who's been playing better? But Jameson Williams, man, is back. Now, I'm 99.9% sure we're not going to see him Thanksgiving. Because now he is allowed to practice. There's no way. You got to remember, he was not allowed to practice at all. So practice, let alone a game, not a game. We talk about practice. Perry Ball says, let's give the kid time to shake off the rust and get back into game shape. Let me come back without too much pressure on him. Mr. Poole says he wants in. He doesn't want to sit anymore. Now, there was a rumor last week, about a week ago today, I reported that, shout out to Mr. Poole, that he was adamant about being activated last week. And you know what I believe? I believe the Lions wanted to activate this guy. And remember, I said to y'all, we were waiting to see where we were going to shape up in December. Now, the reality of it is this. I got on a little late today. I'm sorry. Had to make this video first. The reality is this. The Detroit Lions are 6-4. We are second in the NFC North behind an 8-2 Minnesota Vikings team. Now, the reason I brought them up, we're not going to catch them. They would have to have a colossal collapse with 7 games left. However, we are number 10 in the NFC. If you're following along what's happening, whether the Cardinals are below us before tonight's game. If they lose tonight, they drop even further. We jumped up past the Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers with the win yesterday. We are in prime position with 7 games to go. We're going to need some help because of our late start, our slow start, I should say. But the reason I think Jameson Williams was activated today is because the Detroit Lions know that they have a real chance to make a late push. He's been ready. I believe that. I said that today in my video. Jameson Williams has been ready. If you remember Wednesday, what did Dan Campbell say? Maybe sometime after Thanksgiving. We're looking at Jacksonville, maybe. All of a sudden, we get that dub yesterday, 3 in a row. We got 7 games left. Jameson Williams can make an impact. You know how many passes he would have caught from Jared Goff that Tom Kennedy, no disrespect to Tom Kennedy, no disrespect, that if Jameson Williams catches that, he's gone. He's gone. This is an exciting time, y'all, that Jameson Williams is back. My guess is that he's going to see his first snap against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bare minimum against the Minnesota Vikings, the return of TJ Hockenson. Justin versus J-Mo. It's already setting up. But I promise you this, he will play by Minnesota because he has to. Jameson Williams the Detroit Lions have until December 12th. December 12th to put him on the active roster or put him on a shelf. All right? So let's say worst case scenario. They elevate him to the active roster, but he doesn't play against Minnesota. Then we end the season. Now, this is what I believe. Okay? I believe that he plays against Jacksonville. You know why? Because the Detroit Lions fans are going to want to see this man live. And we only have 4 more home games left. He probably won't play on Thursday. So that means we have 3 opportunities to show him off. And we got 2 back-to-back. All right? So there's my final prediction. We will see Jameson Williams at home as we're hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars December 4th this year, which will give the Lions 6 games to have him in. And we could be making a playoff push by then. Even at 4-7, we could be making a playoff push. So let me know, what do you think about the return of Jameson Williams? Are you excited, as most of us are? All right, y'all. If I'm doing a segment and I don't respond, it's because your question was not about the segment. So then if I answer it, it's going to throw up the whole floor of the segment. What's up? What's up? Somebody said something. David says, Derek, I've been watching Syndicate for a while. You are the man. Dave, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you more than you know. I let myself get chased out of this space in 2019, and that was on me. But I'm back, baby. I'm back. We're back. The Syndicate Sports Detroit, still looking on it for those Pistons guys as well. Okay, Zay. Nate says, winning changes everyone's agenda, don't it? Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. I'm hearing it. Playoffs. Playoffs? I've been talking playoffs since 1-6, y'all. I've been talking playoffs since 1-6, y'all. And you know what else? My record had us right here in the season. I got us losing against the Bills, going on a 5-game winning streak. Because guess what? The Jets are who they thought they were. But we're going to talk. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about them. Zay says, we play a lot under 500 teams at the end of the year. Let's just keep winning and hope that we can get 9 and make the wild card. That's the bottom line. Just keep winning. Well. Zay, I got a rag on you, bro. Because 3 weeks ago, we were talking about tanking. And now, all of a sudden, we on a 3-game winning streak. Remember how I said a 5-game winning streak? Don't that 5-game winning streak seem very plausible now, and especially because we about to get the dog back? We about to get Jameson Williams back. And we play the Jaguars, the Minnesota Vikings. We play is it the New York Jets in a month? Oh, man. Listen, the Carolina Panthers. I see you, Zay. Zay said,
Got him.
He said, I wouldn't say this if the Rams didn't suck. Absolutely. The Rams have picked 5. Matthew Stafford may be done for the year. Cooper Kupp is probably done. Opinions can change. Yes, they can. You know, I know. We finicky, bro. Lions fans, we've been scarred so much, we finicky. 100%. But winning feels good, don't it? Winning feels good. It's like your favorite dish that you want more. You can't have enough. You eat it, but you can't stop eating it. You full, but you still want more. What's up, John? John says, glad to see we can beat 3 teams that we shouldn't. It comes on a streak. We are definitely not SOL. Now notice, I have not said SOL this year. I will say this. I see a lot of people writing this week's game off against Buffalo already. Buffalo's in a weird spot. Their team just isn't on the same page, whereas the Lions team seems to be working as a unit. Now, Mr. Poole, I like that comment. I'm going to tell you where I'm at and why I say that. So the Detroit Lions they're playing the Buffalo Bills coming up this Thursday. The reason I'm not necessarily writing them off, Mr. Poole, I'm not saying you were talking about me, but I've already said in my preview that the Lions were going to lose this game. However, this is what I believe. I believe that the Detroit Lions still have that game in them to beat a team that they shouldn't beat. And I think that team could be the Buffalo Bills. And I'm going to tell you this. If the Detroit Lions beat the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving, nobody in the NFL is going to want to play us. Did you hear what Jared Goff said yesterday in his press conference? He said, we're the team that nobody wants to play. Mr. Poole says they are 9-point underdogs too. I think that's their biggest spread of the season, bro. Now, we stop Diggs, or we're not going to stop Diggs. Jeff Okudah is out. Our best cornerback is on the shelf. So we're going to have to game plan around him being out. However, do you know what I saw the Cleveland Browns do yesterday that we can do? Pressure on Josh Allen. Josh Allen is not the best decision maker. He has a rocket for an arm. He's a mobile QB, but he is not the best decision maker. One Pride says, possibly no Edmonds. I just got that push notification. The Buffalo Bills are susceptible. I keep on going back to this reference because if you think about it, man, I absolutely love Rocky IV. The Buffalo Bills players were talking about it yesterday. Somebody said training in the snow for Rocky IV is a real thing because he was trying to get to out his house and was trudging through the snow. He said it was tougher than any offseason workout he had. But here's my point. When Rocky hit the Russian in the second round, he's cut. He's cut. You see? You hurt him. He's a man. He's not a machine. The Buffalo Bills are like the Russian getting cut in that second round. the pressure by our defensive line. Aleem McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson, Romeo. I'm sorry, Julian. Julian has been a surprise these last 2 or 3 weeks. The Lions still have it in them to beat a team that they on paper shouldn't beat. Perry says, could Josh Allen be injured? Perry, he is injured. He has something is wrong in his elbow on his throwing arm. It doesn't seem to affect him that much, though. But the Lions will fight with everything they have. And I believe that right now, 3-game winning streak at home, sold out before the season began, and everybody who was thinking about selling their tickets, they're going to be there now. This game is going to be everything they think it's going to be. Will DeAndre Swift come alive? Will Josh Reynolds be back? Malcolm Rodriguez, how many will Aiden get to Josh Allen? My biggest concern about the Buffalo Bills is not Josh Allen, it is Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs used to kill us in Minnesota. He is my biggest concern. It's not Josh Allen. We don't even know if Buffalo is going back home. They probably did. Went home, fed the dogs, talked to their family, and they got to come right back. They coming back Wednesday at the very least, right? So I'm not writing the Lions off. I'm just going to I'm going to stick by my prediction. My midseason or my preseason prediction, the Lions will go 9-7. And that means that they lose. 9-8. That means they lose. They got 2 more losses in them. However, I think one of them going to flip-flop. Because I'm going to tell you what. Who on the schedule do you think has the best chance of beating us right now? Let's be real. Who on the schedule do you think has the best chance of beating us right now? I'm going to tell you my 2 teams. I think it's the Buffalo Bills and the Minnesota Vikings. That's what I think. And let's not forget about James Cook. We got to watch out for him too. There you go, Mr. Poole. Justin Fields may or may not play. We don't know the severity of his shoulder. It was his non-throwing shoulder, so that means he could still play. We have the Buffalo Bills, the Minnesota Vikings, all right, the Jets, who are falling apart, the Carolina Panthers, the Green Bay Packers, and I'm going to say Chicago Bears. If we can beat this team and move to 5-6, the entire NFL will be on notice because after them, we've got the Jaguars. That's the team I missed. After them, we've got the Jets, I believe. And like their defense was everywhere yesterday. If we can account for Zach Wilson is not him. Y'all talking about Jared Goff ain't him. Zach Wilson ain't him. And oh boy, did he. Man, I tell you what, his offensive line, they might not be so quick to block for him this coming week. I tell you that. Nick says Bills, Vikings, and maybe the Packers. See, I think the Packers are falling apart. I think their season ended at Lambeau Field last Thursday. That's what I think. I think the reign of Aaron Rodgers has come to an end, and he is done. I don't think they got to run the table, relax. I don't think they got that in them. Yep. So let me know. So I'm not saying that we cannot beat the Buffalo Bills. I'm saying that I already had them losing. However, the Lions might disagree. Because I tell you what, they going to come out like some dogs. That crowd going to be behind him, behind this team. They haven't been at home for 2 weeks. The last time they won was at home. They've won 3. You better believe that they're going to get his team all they can handle. And they could very well come away with the dub. But this is a great time, y'all. A absolutely great time. Zay says, Wilson was the worst QB in the league per PFF. The Jets' offensive is bad. Yeah, It's not the offense. We got to worry about that defensive line. They held the Patriots to 3 points until the last 20 seconds of the what a nightmare that was. What a nightmare that was. Is Okudah playing Thursday? I'm going to say 99.9%. Dan Campbell said it's highly unlikely that he's out. His words were, they're not going to be able to clear him in time. He can't clear a concussion protocol by Wednesday. So he's out. 406 says, I got us winning out. I say,
Oh, my God.
That's crazy. Now, listen. I got a request. I've been getting requests to put these shows on. What is it? Man, these people following me for no reason. These girls on Twitter, bruh. Out of the blue. I don't know you. They be tripping. She made me lose my thought. Follow back. I don't know you. Oh, boy. Amon Ross St. Brown gave the smirking face and retweeted the Jameson Williams tweet from the Detroit Lions. Hey, whoever's doing the Detroit Lions PR, their Twitter, I love whoever this is. I love whoever. They need to keep doing it. So St. Brown is ready for his boy to get in. What's up, single dad? What's going on, man? Nick says, I think we got to score 40 to win. I'm assuming you're talking about against Buffalo. But here's what I see. I see Buffalo. This is what I see. I see like you say that, right? But you don't have, like, you don't know what team you're going to get. And I'm thinking about how Buffalo, you get to the season, right? And we're at the point where this is when we find out who teams really are. The Buffalo Bills yesterday, they won, but it wasn't by a lot. I think it was 31-23. They won. The Browns left, I think it was Diggs, man. He was wide open. Wide open in his. It was so weird seeing two teams play at Ford Field and one of them weren't the Lions. Like, you're looking for the Honolulu blue and silver. And it was so weird because you knew it looked familiar, but you just couldn't. You're like, this looks so weird. But I think we don't know what Bills team we're going to get. T-Stay Cole says, this the most nervous game of the season. See, T, for me, it's not. What's up, Michael? For me, this is not. Because I'm going into this game assuming we're going to lose. The same way I assume when Arizona came to Ford Field last year we were. Now, like I said before, you've made it, Derek. Twitter trollers have found you. Yeah, man. I think they be trying to catfish people. Real talk. Like, why are you following me? So then I follow you back and you DM me. That's what you're going to do. Why would the Bills be scary if rookie that playing his first game? Tremaine Edmonds and Tre'Davious White are all out Thursday. And Gregory Rousseau. Lambeau going to be scary at the end of the year. See, Camping, I would have agreed with you a year ago. But the Lions just handle business. Now, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. And the Green Bay Packers are done. They are done. You saw what they lost. Devontae Adams was just warming up. He went off yesterday. Mr. Poole says, oh, didn't you see the Giants content people saying Detroit was going to beat them? We beat ourselves. Lions didn't. No, I did not see that. I did not. Okay. See, Mr. Poole, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I didn't see that. Wait, we beat ourselves. Oh, really? Who was it that contained the leading rusher to 20-something yards? The Detroit Lions. Who was it that put up 31 points on y'all? The Detroit Lions. Michigan Lions. So I'm not afraid of the Buffalo Bills. I got us losing. That's it. But it's like a mental thing. Only because I had us losing at the beginning of the season. However, teams are defined in the month of November and December. Now listen, y'all ready for this stat? And I forgot to say this until just now. Guess what? Guess whose team is undefeated in the month of November? That's right, the Detroit Lions. 3-0 in the month of November. Coincidentally, since we traded TJ, since we fired Aubrey Pleasant, we got a chance to go undefeated in the month of November. And if we do, that will have to be the best record in the league in the month of November with 6 games left. Jameson Williams cleared to practice, which means he is coming back. Nate says, only team in the NFC North to get a win. Absolutely. And I was the only Syndicate channel because the Miami Dolphins were off. They launched today in about 2 hours. I was the only Syndicate channel to win last week. This news was so big that Adam Schefter retweeted, or actually Lions first round pick Jameson Williams will return to practice today. All right, so Mr. Poole, listen, bro. It's not like I didn't believe you before, but I believe you. I believe you a lot now. I believe everything. And when I made that video last week, I believed you. And I made sure that it was titled Rumor, so that way people would know. But I believe you. I believe everything you and I talk about because I believe that you were right. And that that the Lions wanted to, but they were waiting to see how this Giants game, the difference between 3-7 and 4-6. But here's what gives me faith that the Detroit Lions could pull off an upset, because I think we all agree that this might be the biggest upset of the season on the Lions schedule, right? And I think that the Detroit Lions are a team that can do it. And like I said before, if they do it and they go undefeated in the month of November, we will come in December hot. I'm talking about scorching, blazing. I'm talking about one chip challenge, blazing hot, undefeated in the month of November. 5-6, 4-game winning streak, and probably the 8th seed heading into hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, listen, I'm not overlooking the Buffalo Bills, but I want y'all who sometimes have a hard time staying in the season, I want you to realize something. Nick says, Lions have nothing to lose. Thursday, no one expected the Lions to win 3 in a row, and no one has picked us to beat the Bills. That's facts. Perry says the pressure is on the Bills to win, not us. That's also facts. I want y'all to think about this. Now, I'm making it very clear I'm not overlooking the Bills. I'm not that type of creator. The Bills are a very good team, 7-3. Yesterday was huge for them. 6-4 is a big deal. Crowded AFC. But if we pull off this upset, if we beat the Buffalo Bills, and we host our second of 3 consecutive home games this year against the Jacksonville Jaguars, we could match. If we were able to be victorious, we could match our losing. Could you imagine if we won 5 in a row and we match our losing streak with the winning streak? And we host the Minnesota Vikings at 6-6. Mr. Poole says, I did hear from my source again today. Nothing but smiles in the facility after the JMO news. It's amazing, ain't it? It's amazing to see our boys happy. That's why I was saying to y'all, you play to win the game. Because I think all of us, except Zay, because Zay is hanging on to Bryce Young, all of us are excited. All of us feel much better now. And if we were saying tank 3 weeks ago, we probably don't even like that we felt like that. Patty, I think they keep the game close. I really do. Because if you break down the Buffalo Bills, the defense, to me, you got to worry about, right? But a couple guys are out on defense. They got to protect Jared Goff, who didn't get sacked yesterday. They have to protect Jared Goff, which means that DeAndre Swift has to get himself together because we are going to need him a lot. I don't expect any long throws from Jared Goff this week. I think it's going to be a lot of yak, a ton of yak, right? Stephon Diggs, Von Miller, contain Singletary. If we contained Saquon Barkley, we can contain Devin Singletary. If we do that, we can win this game. And let's not forget about the most driving force of all, home field advantage. That is a big deal to a sellout crowd that if they started checked out, they all in now. Barnes 3-0, Rodriguez 1-6. Well, Hungry Panda, Rodriguez was in there yesterday, so that's a false statement. If you're talking about the records while they play. Rodriguez was in there yesterday, so you got to add a 2 behind that. And why you coming in pooping on the show, bro? Perry says if Lions play hard from start to finish, and like they did versus the New York Giants, we have a good chance to keep it close and can win if the Bills don't come to play. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I want y'all to listen. Y'all got to understand where I'm coming from, because I see a lot of y'all in the chat. Y'all think they're going to eat us up. That's not what I believe. I believe I want to make something very clear. I believe that we lose this game. However, hey, my video got 500 views in 46 minutes. Wow.
Oh, my God.
But here's where I'm at. I want you to think about, this is what gives me hope. When I say I have us losing, I simply mean that I checked this box off at the beginning of the season. What I did not account for, as Nick said earlier, is 3 consecutive wins by the Detroit Lions. What I did not account for is people starting to buy into Dan Campbell. Jeff Okudah playing lights out. Aiden Hutchinson being probably a top defensive rookie of the year candidate. And also, if you look at the past, okay, let's look at these games. Philadelphia Eagles, 1 stop. Don't forget, they were up on us. If we look at the Washington Commanders, dominated, right? Start to finish. If you look at the Minnesota Vikings, bad coaching decision away from a win. If you look at the Seattle Seahawks, 1 stop away from a win. Patriots is the only game we were truly out of. Right? If you look at these games, the Lions are right there. The competition that we faced, most of those opponents that I name have had winning records when we played them. Jamal fumbling in Dallas. That's the one I was missing. Thank you, Nate. Thank you. That's the one I was missing. Don't forget that game was 6-3 us at halftime. It was 6-3. And I said this yesterday in my postgame show. Look at Miami Dolphins. If you look at the Detroit line, we led the Minnesota Vikings game at the half. We led the Miami Dolphins game at the half. We've led at the half. And the only game we were truly out of from start to finish was Bill Belichick. So the Detroit Lions have played 10 games, and we've only been out from start to finish 1. So think about that. So why did I bring that up? Because hosting Buffalo, if that team comes together, the team from and remember now, we did this with no Josh Reynolds and with a very, very, very timid DeAndre Swift. If Swift comes back and gets his head together, if Josh Reynolds is a go, and we can beat the Buffalo Bills 100%. 100%. And we're playing at home, and the crowd is going to be there, and we're coming off a 3-game streak, and no one is giving us a chance to win this game. That's including myself, as far as on paper. Now, I could change. We'll be watching that. That game will be going on in 72 hours. We'll be watching it. And I feel like this team has a legitimate chance rolling on all cylinders to come in and get this W. And like I said, 4-0 in the month of December if this happens. 3-1 if it doesn't. And I said that we needed to go 2-2 in the month of November. The next 4 games, we need to go 2-2. Right now, we're on pace to do that. Perry says, I don't blame Williams for the fumble. This football, bad plays happen. Williams is consistently making plays and rarely fumbles. Not only that, he was texting Deuce Staley every day with 2 words, I'm sorry. And since then, he's been a dog. 12 rushing touchdowns, 5 games with multiple touchdowns. Which, if I heard correctly, according to the postgame show with Danny and Lomas, that's something Barry Sanders didn't even do in the season. Oh, and let me tell you, he ain't done yet. Jamal Williams, we still got 7 games left. If he gets 1, that's 1 per game. That puts him at 19. If he gets 2 in 1 game, that puts him at 20. Perry says, you know what, Perry? Absolutely. And let's do this because we got a little time left. See, in this YouTube space, you got a lot of flip-floppers, a lot of wishy-washy. A lot of wishy-washy, man. Content creators are hilarious. We talking draft. Now we talking playoffs. We talking this. Now we talking that. Okay? And I'm not trying to attack these guys. But I will say this. It's funny. The Detroit Lions have a decision to make this offseason. And that is to sign or not to sign running back Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is on the last year of his 2-year deal. Last year of his 2-year deal. Came over from Green Bay. And according to Deuce Staley, he is the heart. He is the leader of this team. Not DeAndre Swift, not Jared Goff. Jamal Williams, I said this 2 weeks ago when the rumors came out that we were trying to trade him, which I just thought was stupid if that was true. Jamal Williams is the heartbeat, the lifeline, the blood flow of this team. He put the loss to the Dallas Cowboys on himself. It's a team effort. But that momentum when he fumbled, which should have been the go-ahead touchdown, would have put us up 13-10 after the extra point. He took that on his back. Put it on his back, right? And we got a decision to make. Jamal Williams, do we re-sign him? I say absolutely. It's a no-brainer. They can't let him walk away. Not only is he the emotional leader, he also backs up what he's talking about. And we need that. Jamal Williams, 12 touchdowns. Jamal-o-matic. I got to work on that. I come up with something else. He'll get another 2-year deal. But at this point, we have to re-sign him because DeAndre Swift is not the number 1 back. When Jamal Williams is in the red zone, it's almost a guarantee. And you're wondering, why are the Lions rolling out with Jared Goff? Why are you doing that? Last week, he got his head ripped off on a rollout. Okay? But Jamal, and let's not even talk about Mr. Jason Kabenda. Come on, bro. He came up with a big block to let Jamal get up in there. But you got to catch when the ball thrown to you, bro, and it hits you in both your hands, you got to catch that. I think Jamal Williams is more of a guarantee than DeAndre Swift. Not from a talent level. But DeAndre Swift, something is up. You know, one of the biggest things to overcome when you get injured, it's not the physical. Your body will take care of itself. It's the mental. Our mental is super strong. Can make you sick. Nothing's physically wrong with you. But your mental can make your body sick. That's how powerful the mind is, right? What is going on with DeAndre Swift? that we can count on Jamal Williams more than we can with DeAndre Swift. Got to re-sign Jamal Williams. He is a absolute necessity. And he made more of a name here than he ever did at Green Bay. Never fumbled in Green Bay. Never fumbled till he got here. Lost his first fumble this year. And that was a big one. A big one. Jamal Williams, to me, is more of a guarantee than DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, he still got some work. But he got to get his mental right. And I think he needs to play a huge part in Thursday's win if we're going to win. You getting outplayed by Justin Jackson, who was undrafted. You were a second-round pick. And you're getting outrun by Jamal Williams, who is a stud, and an undrafted running back. Marcus says injuries. Okay. So, Marcus, was it his injury that made him fumble yesterday? Was it his injury that instead of cutting it inside, he decides to hesitate and gets no yards? The Detroit Lions have one job to do this offseason. The most important job that I believe is to bring back Jamal Williams. Very similar to how Josh Reynolds was last year. Bring back Jamal Williams. Another 2-year deal. Let me know what you think. All right, so I see Hernandez says he can't play at 100%. Okay, Marcus, listen, bro. I'm not sure what's going on, so don't take offense by this. And I know this guy's done some horrendous things, but his show was pretty good. Ran from 1984 to 1992. It's called The Cosby Show. And in the pilot episode, Theo has a speech. And at the end of that speech, Bill Cosby says, "That's the dumbest thing I ever heard." Marcus, if you're saying he can't play at 100%, meaning he's physically unable to, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you're being critical of him, then it's not. Do you know how many injured players? Okay, let me remind you that the reigning defensive player of the year, TJ Watt, had a torn pec in his back, making sacks. I'm sure that 92% of the NFL is injured right now. Frank Ragnow, injured. You know what he said? I ain't playing. I'm playing against the Giants. Okay, so injuries happen. Even Deuce Staley said, bruh, play through injuries, right? I think when it comes to DeAndre Swift, his mental is too much. Let's go back to his days at college. Remember, he didn't have a heavy workload in college. It might be time to admit that DeAndre Swift is not running back one material. Now, I don't have 350-pound men falling on me. I'm not trying to be critical of DeAndre Swift. I'm simply saying, as a job, as the NFL being his occupation, you have to be able to perform your job. Injuries are going to happen. It's part of the game. And I applaud these men for putting their bodies out there. I got a Bleacher Report push notification saying that Justin Fields is day to day. It sucks. It's part of the game. But it might be time to admit that DeAndre Swift is not running back one material. And Deuce Staley, from Hard Knocks to last week's press conference, didn't call him a leader. I'm just saying. So again, what Swift does is up to Swift. I'm just here to talk about it. He is a difference maker when his mind is in the right place. Bruce says, We got to draft a running back this year just for depth. I can see us doing that after we get some defense. 100%. Because I think Swift, the clock has already started on DeAndre Swift. Remember the last running back we took in the second round? He's no longer in the NFL. Camping says he has a Reggie Bush as in catch a lot out of the backfield to get him in the open. His career will last longer if he does. Perry says, let's be fair. Injuries can ruin players. Perry, we are being fair. I don't understand how that's not being fair. Of course it can ruin players. That's literally what we're talking about right now. We're literally talking about how injury can ruin. But if me admitting that is not being fair, that's 100% fair. But what I'm saying, and I think that from what we got from Hard Knocks, sounds like Deuce Staley was kind of saying the same thing. Let me ask y'all a question. Let's take Perry's comments because they're true, and they're true in more ways than one. Okay? When he said injuries can ruin players, to be fair, that's 100%. But you know how I think it can really get to some players if it's not, we talked about it, the mental. The mental. It's going to be tough for Jameson Williams to get out there. And if you interview anyone who's been hurt, they say, if you go, listen, Chris Godwin, he got hurt last year in December, about a year ago. And his recovery process was ridiculous. But you know what he said? He said the mental part of it was the hardest part because you have to begin to trust again. You have to begin to trust that every time you get hit, you're not going to get injured. And breaking my femur twice, I agree 100%. The mental is tough. And for every injury in the National Football League, I've never heard of too many people breaking their femur. It's probably happened a couple times. Everything Deuce wanted out of Swift, he got in Jamal. Yeah. And that's the sad part because Swift is, in terms of explosiveness and playmaking ability, you would hope we got that out of him. I know, I'm just saying some fans can't see that and don't want to give up the player because they think if the player goes somewhere else and do good. I think that DeAndre Swift could do good here, and I think he can do good somewhere else where his role is limited. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is injured. He got injured last night. They said it's a high ankle sprain. That's how Swift will be. Swift is going to have to go somewhere where he shares the load with somebody else and gets a dub, gets a chip. That's how that's going to happen. Swift, his third year into the league, is not in running back one. Period. There's a lot of running backs like that. Jamal will get you 5 when you need 4, but he's not a home run hitter like Swift. Absolutely. And guess what? I'd rather have him 4 than a home run hit every day. Because guess what? When we needed, Nick, when we needed 9 last week against the Chicago Bears and Jamal Williams got 10. That's all I need. That's all I need. Because guess what? When Swift was dynamic in weeks 1 through 4 or 1 through 3, we still lost 2 of them games. Because we couldn't finish. Nick says that's why they fit together, but they got to play together. Is it just me? Is it just me, or is DeAndre Swift a little different? It just looks like he is. I saw DeAndre Swift at the game against the Rams. Caught that pass, tripped, stayed on his feet, took that joint to the house. It was probably one of his best plays as a Lion. And it was fantastic. But he can't do that if mentally he won't let himself. We spent most of the second half of this talking about DeAndre Swift. I think, and I'm going to be real, okay? DeAndre Swift is DeAndre Swift's biggest enemy. I know it sounds cliche, but I believe that to be 100%. 100%. Now, it's funny, like I said, and we on tomorrow. Well, listen, tomorrow, so I got me a TV. Proud of myself. Okay, 1 second, because I got to get in. My son's teacher is texting me. It's just funny how the playoff picture is kind of shaping up, man, and we're in there. We are in there. But we got a tough road ahead. But it is not, and a loss, listen, a loss against the Bills is not the end of the season. I think a loss yesterday would have been the end of the season. Like, really, really close. Now, this is funny. Oh, man, this is an ESPN Plus article. I need to sign up for ESPN Plus. Bill Barnwell. I be using his stuff all the time. They got him under ESPN Plus. But we're going to do what we usually do, and we're going to make this segment. All right. So I'm going to take this out because it shouldn't be there. Maybe I'll put something else. All right. So this is an NFL segment. This will be our last segment of the day. We had a very good conversation. Hold on. Let me do this before I get there. We had a very good conversation. There was some more stuff I wanted to talk about, but we got to get off in our hour. We'll be on tomorrow as well. So this is something that concerns me, and I want to know how you guys feel about it. Matthew Stafford, quarterback of the LA Rams, got a concussion a few weeks ago. He didn't show signs when the concussion first happened. For some reason, they didn't pull him out because they've been doing that since Tua. Everyone has been doing that. Whether you're a quarterback or not, you've been getting pulled out if a spotter spots you. If you're showing these certain symptoms, they pull you out. Now, according to the LA Rams, 2 weeks ago, Matthew Stafford entered concussion protocol in the middle of the week because that's when he started showing symptoms. It's quite possible. He did not play their last game, and he played yesterday. Gets tackled. I saw it back on the highlights. Got swarmed by 3 guys, and that's the play that put him out. Matthew Stafford has been ruled out with a concussion. And in the 24 hours since it happened, I have heard everything from Matthew Stafford might not play again this year to Matthew Stafford retiring because of it. 2 concussions in a 2-week span. Now remember, he got concussed originally 2 weeks ago from yesterday, missed last week's game after entering concussion protocol midweek, was cleared to play apparently yesterday, got concussed again. And they're saying that not only could his season be over, his career could be over. My question is this. Did the NFL, did somebody fail Matthew Stafford? That's what I want to know. How do you miss? What happens that he didn't enter concussion? Well, first of all, ever since the Tua situation, if you get tapped on the head, you are pulled out. Kirby Joseph, pulled out. If you get tapped on a head injury, you are coming out the game and your night is over. Why didn't that happen to Matthew Stafford the original game? Or did it happen? I didn't see it. But how does he not show symptoms, or somebody's not watching him and he doesn't start showing symptoms till Wednesday? He's still in concussion protocol a week later, and he plays on Sunday. He gets swarmed by 3 defenders, and he's out. Concussion. That's 2 concussions in 2 weeks, if you're counting along with me. Did someone fail Matthew Stafford? Was it the Rams organization? Was it the NFL, who was being very overprotective? I'm not going to say overprotective. That would insinuate that they are going overboard, and I don't think they are. I think they're doing what is supposed to be done. But why was he, if he was in concussion protocol on Wednesday, how was he playing on Sunday? We already know that Jeff Okudah has in no way, shape, or form can be in on Thursday. Camping in the forest say Stafford always played hurt. But you know a lot of stuff, what he did not have as a Lion, concussions. He had the shoulder. He had a couple. Dude was an Iron Man. Don't forget, Matthew Stafford didn't miss a game for 8 consecutive years. Zay says the O-line is the worst in the league. One of the worst rushing attacks. He's getting banged up bad. I'm concerned for him as well. Never hope for injuries. Yeah, hoping for somebody gets hurt is not only for losers, but it's just bad. It means it's just you're a bad person. Period. Concussions are career-ending injuries. Absolutely are. 100%. And we're wondering right now, is this the end for Matthew Stafford? Because his wife is upset, and she should be. We talked about this last week, video that never came out. Kelly Stafford is livid, and she's even going to be more upset now. But it might come to a point where Matthew Stafford is told to hang it up. It's so y'all know how I broke my femur playing football. This was before that. And I'm playing, and because after I broke my femur, I stopped playing. And I was you play offense and defense when you play in backyard football. So on defense, I'm playing. Guy gets the ball, and we don't, now mind you, how dumb kids are, like kids and teenagers are. You really have to protect your kids from harm, right? I'm a teenager, and we're playing tackle football with nothing on. Tackle. Now, none of that should happen today. But I got, his head hit mine, and I saw black. Had a super, very intense headache, and I think it was a concussion, 100%. I actually think I have some like remnants of that. So Matthew Stafford has had 2 in 2 weeks. And somebody has failed him. But who was it? And who's going to take responsibility for, because somebody somewhere failed Matthew Stafford. What's up, B-Love? What's going on, man? Came in at the end of the show. We about to wrap it up, but we'll be on tomorrow. Wrapping this thing up. Says, Lions need to win to stay in playoff race this week. 49ers keep winning. Washington keeps winning. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, really, we need the, okay, let's do this before we get out of here. Let me switch the segment because that's a good point, and we'll end on that. And I'll bring it in so you guys can see. Standings, playoff picture. All right, so you're going here, and we'll fade this over. All right, so this is the current playoff picture for coming, for the season thus far with 7 games left. Put that at we'll put that at 150. Okay? So the Eagles squeaked a win, a 1-point win against the Colts yesterday. The Vikings, we all know they got mollywopped. That game was so bad, they took it off. They took it off not only local television, but according to Mr. Poole, they took it off Sunday Ticket. And that's bad because you can watch every game on Sunday Ticket. The Seahawks were off, okay? We need them to start losing. We lost to them, so we need them to start losing. Because one of these teams, the Seahawks or the Niners, will win the West. All right? We need the Seahawks to start losing. I think the Niners are going to win. The Bucks, listen, we don't play the Bucks. You can never count out Tom Brady. But I think the Bucks or the Falcons win the South. And I think it's going to be the Bucs. I think they have more consistency. They're going to win. The Cowboys took a big step forward yesterday. Big step forward. And with 7 games, they might not have a collapse in their future. Okay? This team, I think, begins to collapse right now. They play the Cowboys coming up, and I think they start collapsing. All right? The Cardinals are below us right now. We need the Niners to win today. All right? We don't play the Niners or Cardinals this year. The Cardinals, to me, are not even in consideration. Rams or Cardinals are done. It's going to come down between the Seahawks and the Niners. All right? Right now, we're on the outside looking in. They won yesterday, didn't help us. Had they lost, we would have jumped them. But Chicago lost to them or beat them. Lost to them by 3. All right? We beat this team, but right now, they're on the outside looking in. Okay? This coming week, the games are so close, I can't even call who should win. I really have to sit down and dissect it. I'm going to try and do that by this week's video. But we got a big day ahead of us, and we need to win. But with that being said, you guys are awesome. I'll see you on